Hi little owls, today we're going to be doing a color theory science experiment using white flowers. For materials you're going to need white flowers. Roses and carnations work best. I will be using white roses, and you're going to need multiple roses or carnations or whichever flower you decide. You're going to need 2 jars per flower. You're going to need primary colors with food coloring or liquid watercolor. You're going to need water, tape. You're going to need scissors and a knife, and the scissors and knife are going to be for adults to use or for you to help the adults in that part of the process. So with this experiment, we're going to be cutting the stem of the flower in half, putting one half of the stem in one color that's going to be in the jar, and the other half of the stem in another color. And while that rose sucks up the water with the color is going to go on the petals, and then we're going to notice what happens towards the middle of the flower with the 2 primary colors in it. So first we're going to do a data chart, and I'm going to be showing you how mine looks. You don't have to follow the one that I do. If you want, you can, or you can also add different information and questions to your data chart. Okay, this is my data chart. You don't have to do it exactly like I did it, but this is more of an example. At the top is the hypothesis. That's where I'm going to write what I think is going to happen during this flower experience. And then on the sides I have some questions that I'm going to be answering during each observation of the flowers. The observations are going to be the check-ins that you're going to do with the flowers to see how the experiment is going. I have how long has it been. So how long has it been since we put the flowers in the colors? Have the colors reached the petals? Are the colors mixing in the petals? And then you're going to answer these questions during each observation. I only have 3 observations. You can do more observations if you'd like. You can wait longer periods of times between each observation. And then at the bottom I have what I'm going to write, the final results. Was my hypothesis correct? Did something different happen? Again, you don't have to answer these specific questions. You can add these questions and then add more questions on your data chart. And you're going to keep filling this in as you check in. Before you do the setup for your flowers and the colors, you are going to come up with a hypothesis. And a hypothesis is an idea or explanation that you will then test and study, and you're going to take notes during this experimentation. And at the end of the experience, you're going to be writing down if your hypothesis was true or if something different happened. Next, we're going to do the setup with the flowers and the colors. Okay, I have my jars half full with water, and I'm going to add the food coloring. I have the blue, and I'm going to add a lot. Red, and yellow. Now time for the flowers. Make sure that you cut down the flower so that it's not too high and hanging out. This is for the adults. You're going to cut the stem of the flower in half. like this. And you're going to leave about an inch or half an inch from the top so that it's not too wobbly. Here's a tip. Scissors and a knife work fine. You do have to spend more time with it. I used an X-Acto knife and it was a lot easier and a lot quicker. Just make sure that you're being safe with your fingers. I have my jars gathered. The red one is back here. When you're putting your flowers in, make sure that you're very gentle and you're holding it from the top. If you hold it from the bottom, they may break. So I'm going to split open. I'm going to add one side of the one stem in the blue and the other side in the yellow, like this. And you're going to get pieces of tape and you're going to tape the stem to the jar for more support. On each side. That is the setup. You're going to put it be disturbed and where you can watch it soak up the colors. Now that everything is set up and we have our chart ready, we're going to be checking in with our roses every couple of hours, maybe even the next day, depending on how quick my roses absorb the color and how quick it gets to the petals. First observation, I'm checking in on the roses. It's been about 2 hours and the only color that I'm noticing it's coming up absorbed into the petals is the blue. There's a little bit of blue there, a little bit here. And then on this flower, a little bit on this side here. So in my data chart, I'm going to write down on my first observation, how long has it been? Have the colors reached the petals? And I wrote only the blue. The next question is, are the colors mixing in the petals? And for that question, I answered no. I'm checking in for observation number 2. And I have noticed in this flower, yellow and red are both starting to soak up onto the petals. In this flower, there's blue and yellow soaked up onto the petals. And the third flower has a lot more blue and only a little bit of red. It's just on the edges. So on my data chart, I'm going to write that it has been 6 hours since we've placed them in the colored water. Have the colors reached the petals? I'm going to answer yes for all of them. And the third question is, are the colors mixing in the petals? And the answer for that right now is still no. Okay, I'm doing observation number 3. And in the white rose that is dipped in blue and red, it looks like the blue is a lot more pigmented on the petals. The flower that's dipped in yellow and red, it looks like it's almost half and half on the colors. And the flower dipped in blue and yellow, I think that has more yellow than blue, but I'm noticing a little bit of I'm noticing a little bit of color mixing happening in the middle of this rose. See a little bit of green. It has been 12 whole hours. So for how long has it been? I'm gonna write 12 hours. It has been 12 whole hours since we placed the flowers in the color. So I wrote 12 hours. 4, have the colors reach the petals? Yes. And they said that it's more pigment. And I said that it's more pigment. And for are the colors mixing in the petals? I'm going to write yes, just for the yellow and blue flower, because it's starting to mix green in the middle. And that is my data tract for observation number 3. Okay, it's been 24 hours, one whole day since we placed the roses in colored water. I have filled out the last part of my data chart. The first question is, was your hypothesis correct? And I said yes and no. First, my hypothesis was all colors will absorb to the petals and mix in the middle. I said yes and no because the flower with the yellow and the blue mix together to make green. Right here. And I said no because the flower in yellow and red did not mix in the middle to make orange. And the flower with the blue and the red did not mix to make purple. And the second question was, did something different happen? And I put the other flowers were tinted but did not mix, which is what I just explained. And something I did not write on here, but something different that I noticed is that each flower is a different size. They started off the same size, being closed off. The flower that was in yellow and red opened up the most. The flower that was in yellow and blue opened up some, but not as much. And the flower that was in blue and red did not open at all. Those are my results for my color theory science experiments. Your experiment might come out different. Only one of my flowers mixed colors in the middle and the other two didn't. And part of a science experiment is asking questions and then trying the experiment all over again in a different way. Maybe if I added more color, they all would have mixed. Maybe less water, maybe less color, maybe more water. And you can try it again. If your hypothesis doesn't come out completely how you thought it would, you can try it all over again and see what the results are for that one. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're staying safe, and thank you for watching.